Hello, everybody, and welcome to Melody of the Maelstrom, where a bunch of real-life bards play Dungeons & Dragons. Before we roll the starting titles, we do have a few sponsors we need to shout out, the first being D&D Beyond. If you want to have all of your resources conveniently in one place, and you hate math, look no further. D&D Beyond has all of the digital resources you could possibly need, including books, dice, and the ability to homebrew to your heart's content. Our second sponsor is FX May Vary, an awesome local band from Newmarket, Ontario, who specializes in making you... How long was that?
35!
No way! We specialize in making sure you always have your daily prescription for hard rock. Feel free to listen to our music on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you're most comfortable listening to your favorite tunes. And feel free to follow us on Facebook for show dates and announcements. And as always, individual effects may vary. There's also our Patreon, where we have a tier for every level of generosity. One includes being shouted out at the end of this game, as well as all of the others, or voice acting lessons with one of the talented players in one of our other games. And of course, we have merch. Do you want a sweater, a shirt, or maybe even a mouse pad with that awesome Dire Bear logo? And we also have Pride merch. There are t-shirts, stickers, and tank tops on sale until the end of the month for Pride, but the new design will be available year-round. So go ahead and check out our merch page where you can find whatever it is your heart desires. And we can go ahead and roll those title credits. Okay, so the last we left off, the party decided to go and investigate the mystery further by speaking with the now deceased colonel. After making their way to the morgue and having a tiny problem with the door, they did manage to raise the colonel from her eternal sleep, but momentarily, in order to ask her 5 questions. After getting frustrated with her cryptic and not particularly helpful answers, the party went back into the alley behind the morgue to kind of regroup and decide what to do next, but not before they were attacked by 2 would-be assassins who may or may not have had all of their names on a piece of paper. And we just finished at the very end of combat as the second individual just falls dead on the cobblestones, and that is
I
where we
loot the
left
corpse.
off. You loot the corpse. Roll me an investigation check. Just no hesitation, like, loot, corpse, yes!
You cut me off before I could last
I loot the body, I loot the body. Well, because,
So I was ready this time.
When the DM says, game over, so.
I gotta look up my thing. Somebody else might have to search this, though.
I am always
Was anybody bitten by the beasts?
Bovidius.
Yes, I'm quite smarting from this wound here on my shoulder. Have you,
Let me examine your wound.
Have you any skill with werewolf bites?
Let me take a look at the wound.
I'll lean forward and show him my shoulder.
Roll me a medicine check. While somebody else is looting the I'm assuming, like, I can just imagine, like, Fidget kind of is like,
I'm not just looting bodies. I'm a multitasker, so I'm also looking for any evidence of like where they got their orders, who they might work for, any like markings that might indicate that kind of thing.
Okay. Still an investigation check.
15.
15. So as you're kind of rooting through the pockets of the female assassin, you realize that she has another very similar piece of paper in her pocket with each of your names on it, but hers has an amount as well. And it just says 1,000 per head.
Doesn't say anything about shoulders.
Head and shoulders.
If you also deliver the knees and toes. Yeah, you deliver the head and shoulders. You deliver the head and shoulders for 50% off, and then the rest of you have to deliver the anyways.
I'm just gonna wait until we're ready to
Yep.
roleplay.
just wait for me to finish my stupid ass joke, and then we can keep going. You're all sitting there patiently, like, is she done? That's it? Okay, that's what she's going with. All right. Okay, so you find the piece of paper. You find she is carrying 300 gold pieces just on her in a pouch. And they also both have a matching stylized set of daggers.
Ooh.
They're just these beautiful black hilted daggers with this like long curved blade. With a whole bunch of like, you can see that they're sort of like engravings in the blade. What languages do you understand?
Probably not the one you're looking for. I think I know Gnomish and Common.
Okay.
Let me find out. You know what? Not relevant for the moment. We'll figure that out later.
Okay.
But I do have a wand of detect magic that I prepared a couple sessions ago. I'm gonna bust that bad boy out. Check out what's going on with these daggers, or with anything in that. Like, do I have to search each individual item, or can I just detect magic in?
So detect magic is just a radius around you. I believe it's a 10-foot radius sphere. So as long as something magical is within 10 feet of you, it kind of glows.
Cool.
So as you like wave the wand and start detecting items around you, all of the magical items that are on your compatriots immediately begin to glow with this dim yellow kind of light. And the daggers themselves also do light up a little bit. They start to glow.
Okay. I pocket one of those daggers, and the other one I present to the group.
It's just, she only had one dagger.
I'm not
Even though we watched him.
Yeah, I'm not
just puts it into his waistcoat, like, oh look, she only had one. It's not a matching set.
Here's the thing about Fidget. He's not gonna hide he's stealing. He just does it. He just doesn't even realize it's wrong. He's like, yeah, this is mine now. Okay.
What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
Not much.
Are you part Kender?
I kind of am a Kender. Yeah, a little bit. Except
should have had a crow. I should just give you a crow at some point. It'll bring you like little shiny knickknacks that you can just pocket all the time. It'll be great.
Perfect.
You guys will be best friends.
Perfect.
Or maybe a raven, just so the bird is as big as you are, and that'll be hilarious.
You can have it. You can make it so his homunculus turns into different things.
Yeah. Can I ride the raven if I get a raven?
I'm gonna go with no, just because in order to ride something, it has to be a size larger than you, and both you and a raven would be a small creature.
Rules are stupid.
Sorry to ruin your fun, man. Every time people get mad at me about the rules, I'm like, hey, I don't make the rules, I just enforce them, okay?
I'll get enlarge reduce one day for you.
Unless a rule pisses me off in particular, and then I do make the rules.
No need strike.
They're more like guidelines than actual rules. Do not mention stunning strike in my presence. We do not speak of that which shall not be spoken of.
Never again a monk.
Oh yeah, okay, so you pocket one of the daggers and you turn around and present the remaining one to the group.
I also pocket the note. I like these guys, but $1,000 a head, it's a pretty good deal. So
I
also,
will.
as you look a little bit closer, there's a tiny little P next to the 1,000.
like urine or like the
Ooh.
letter P.
P.
Okay.
There's a tiny, just a little drop, just a
Yes.
touch.
I will.
You
I
get
will
a
turn.
hint of ammonia, and then there's nothing. No, it's like the letter P.
Okay, cool.
While Sir Domino is inspecting my shoulder, I will turn down to Fidget and say, "How much were we worth?"
1,000 each.
1,000 gold pieces a head.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one that read the note, so the rest of us might know if he's lying now, but in character, I don't think we would. So 1,000 gold pieces each. My. I wish the army had judged me that highly.
Well, it actually simplifies our mission. There's only a few people in this city that can afford that kind of money.
Do you know who these would be?
Well, I'm new here, but most cities don't have somebody, a few thousand people with 5,000 gold to spare.
Indeed. Surely our friend the magistrate would be one of those.
And whoever they work for.
Perhaps Mr. Caxo as well. Though he strikes me as but a middleman.
We've also got a way into the Thieves Guild.
Indeed.
So who wants to be the bait?
I'll draw myself up to full height and say,
What?
well, at least I make an appealing target.
Speaking
Wouldn't be the
of,
first-
let's
Yes.
examine your wound.
Yes. What do you
Oh
make
man,
of
I
this?
sorry, I totally forgot about that medicine check. You were sorry, my bad.
Oh, I rolled a 14, which is a little above my wisdom.
Okay. So 14. So you can definitely tell that it is a bite. You can see like the upper like the two holes where the two upper canines went through, and then the corresponding puncture wounds on the opposite side of his shoulder. Like this is 1,000% a bite wound. It
Alright,
looks
well-
pretty deep and like it sucks.
Definitely hurt.
Well, we certainly can't risk having a weretor in our party, so I will invoke the Cure Disease Requiem Torame and cure disease on the wound.
Okay. So you kind of place your hands over it, and there's a small, kind of celestial glow for a moment. You cast the spell, but nothing seems to happen.
I flinch a little
Okay.
bit at the hand on the shoulder.
Did you feel anything divine surge through you, Bovidius?
Fidget rolls his eyes visibly.
I love his character so much. God, I love you.
I felt naught but the pain of the wound. Perhaps 'tis less a disease and more of a curse or some magical affliction.
It could be from what I do know, what
We
little I
may
do
need to
know.
find someone more powerful.
Possible.
Oh,
Guess I don't know if it's a curse or a disease. Diseases I could cure, curses I cannot.
Do
I'll
you want
turn-
to give me a history check to see if you can figure that out?
Yeah, I got you covered.
There is a 3.
A 3.
Ooh.
Oh no!
Not
You have
great.
no idea, dude.
I'll
Not a
also try
damn
my hand
clue.
at history here.
People
got a
turn into
9.
wolves? What the fuck?
I rolled a 12.
Okay. So you know that lycanthropy, it definitely does affect the blood of the affected subject, but whether or not it is a disease or a curse is like just beyond your understanding of lycanthropy, because it's kind of like people's basic understanding of like sickle cell anemia. You know it affects the blood, but you don't precisely know what it does.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
I am a nerd in all aspects.
Would I know? Who would know?
Perhaps we
Like-
should go to the local temple.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, so really a cleric is probably the most likely to potentially know what's going on here. Or somebody
Native.
else within the particular group of blood hunters that so actually really Talon
Or
may be familiar with what's going on here.
well, sure.
Because you've heard of these people, you know what they're about.
Hmm.
I believe Talon's having difficulty
Ah.
with his speech machine.
We're having technical difficulties. Da, 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 da.
Already?
Something
while,
I'm picking up on you.
I'm gonna turn to Sir Domino again and say,
Hold on, I'm rolling.
while we seek out any potential repercussions within the blood, would you be able to do anything to stop the blood that is flowing?
Certainly.
He's like, buddy, can you fucking heal me, please?
It's a
Goodness.
big fucking bite.
Careful, because if you don't heal him fast enough, he's gonna be a mad cow.
Ooh.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Well, I will lay
There
on
we are.
hands. Hymnus requies.
Was that lay on hands you said?
Yes.
How many
8
points?
hit points. 8.
Nice.
Alrighty.
Cool.
Yeah.
Would I know the location of the nearest cleric or clerics or temple in this? Other than, of course,
The
cleric
location
with
of
us?
the nearest cleric is probably about 10 or 5.
Yeah. Other
Sorry,
than the
okay.
cleric that's with us, I qualified.
I gotta be sassy, I'm sorry.
Are you giving me sass?
Yes! I am. The nearest cleric that you would know of, there are 2 that you are pretty familiar with. One who pretty much works like out of the military base, and another one that kind of owns an apothecary in the entertainment district.
I would want to go to the apothecary.
Okay.
So
Agreed.
I'll turn to the group and say, the entertainment district should not be too far from here. I know of a cleric operating an apothecary there, who may be able to assist with this. And I'll recommend that we set forth.
What about the bodies? We either bury them or we burn them.
Sounds
Assuming
like
you've examined them, all you need.
Are they
I've got
still
everything I need.
contagious? Says Nyx as she like kicks one of them.
We probably should burn them.
How about now?
Yes,
Yes.
I can hear you now.
Stupid bloody mic.
I thought you were just
Yeah.
muted. I'm sorry.
Fidget.
I
is
kept waiting for our actual cleric to pipe up.
To chime in, I'm right here.
Fidget is decidedly against watching bodies burn, so he's gonna find a ladder and start climbing onto a roof.
Okay. So yeah, you just kind of up onto a roof and kind of sit there with your little like your paper homunculus just in your hand, just like.
And my crossbow. Keeping an eye on the streets, making sure no one else is coming for us.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check. Just because you're up on a. I also need a supercut of Fidget complaining every time I ask him for a perception check instead of an investigation check. Somebody make that supercut. I want it.
Oh, by the way, I rolled for my history before I bounced out there. I'm at
Okay.
14 altogether.
14.
Which is what I rolled as well.
So I'm saying so I set the DC for this particular check as 15. So essentially both of you have pretty much the same knowledge. But you know what, Talon? Because of who you are and who you know, I will let you roll that with advantage.
All right, so roll again.
So roll higher than 14.
19.
Hey, good job, Fidget.
I'm gonna save that because I rolled a 17 on my perception check. But thank you.
Booyah.
So 19 on my history altogether.
19.
Nice.
Yeah, you. So you know that Craig and his partner Sim, are blood hunters and lycanthropes, and you know that they have to be particularly careful that they ensure that they kill their subjects so that they don't pass on the curse of lycanthropy.
Would I know of any cure for this, or?
I'm gonna go with no.
Okay.
Oh, fun.
Sort
Nice
of a good
character you
news,
had
bad
there,
news
Bovidius.
situation for you, Bovidius. The good news is it didn't kill you.
You guys don't know what the DC was. He could have been fine. You guys don't know.
True. Yeah, let's assume it'll
Well,
be
that's
fine.
why I'm saying this point.
Everything is awesome.
Well,
It's
I would.
not going to kill you, but you may at some point feel an urge to either bark at the moon or eat your compatriots.
Sorry, did he just say that he's gonna kill?
No, you remember that squire from the stables, Oswald? He sang a song about barking at the moon, and honestly, it doesn't sound like the worst side effect of this particular battle.
No, but I'd be more worried about the whole killing and eating your friends.
Well, that could happen at any moment as it is.
Yes.
I'm just going to take a step back.
I'm sorry. Sometimes I forget that I have an imposing posture.
I love the idea of everybody but Nyx taking a step back. Everybody's like, whoa. And Nyx is like, he's a fucking cow. I'm not afraid of him.
It's not so much that he's a cow.
Uh-oh.
Now
We appear to be having some technical difficulties. He's a little bit laggy.
I think your mic is clipping.
Yeah.
It's clipping.
Harry.
Closer to your face?
Back it off. Back it
If
off
you
a
might-
little
if
bit.
you could have.
Oh, I was telling him to do the opposite.
Okay, I thought I had to bring it closer.
Oh, yes, there.
No.
Much better.
Whatever you just did, that worked.
Is that better? Okay.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Minus the pong sound.
Yeah, it's either latency issues or it's the noise gate on the microphone that's cutting off parts of it. So
It sounds like clipping. When the louder you talk, then you cut out. So it's probably clipping.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Do me a favor. Just put your microphone directly into your mouth. I assume that will most assuredly solve the problem. Just.
And we're good. Continuing.
Unfortunately, Talon has fallen into a sudden irreversible coma.
to
He's like,
allay,
I have the, and then turns and walks away.
to allay Talon's justifiable concerns, let us still seek out the apothecary and see if she can at least diagnose any lingering side effects. At which point, I believe we owe the Thieves Guild a prompt visitation.
Rendell, do you have cure remove curse?
I do have that prepared,
He's just.
but we were
Give it a
saving that-
whirl.
I was saving it for the Archmage.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Well,
He's just got it like dum da 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 da.
Would you rather risk that I eat you on our way to visit him?
Well, when you put it that way.
Oh.
Best cleric ever, honestly.
Yes, cleric ever. It's like,
I might
oh
turn
man,
into a
I'm just
weird
imagining,
creature.
like,
We're
you know,
gonna find out later.
Somebody's trying to fix an engine. He's like, does anybody have a monkey wrench? Anybody have a monkey wrench? I need a monkey wrench. Anyone? And he's just standing there with the monkey wrench, just waiting for a break in the conversation. Like,
No. It's more like he's standing there with the monkey wrench, screaming the Foo Fighters song, I don't want to be your monkey wrench.
Love that song.
or he's like, does anybody have one? Oh yeah, I had one. I just figured you're gonna like find your own. So I mean, I have one.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying here. I don't know what's going on.
That was
sound
perfect.
much better now.
I don't know. It just keeps. I don't know if it's because I'm positioned differently in my room. I've moved stuff around.
Now
You
you're
sound
so
great
now-
now.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I was gonna try and pop in through my phone, but I realized that Grim isn't connected to the Dire Bear network. Like
That's okay.
my
We can
so
do
computer
far,
is.
this is the
Jeez.
clearest we've ever been able
Yeah,
to hear you. So
you
whatever
sound
you got
great.
going on, keep it up.
Whatever you're
Yeah.
doing, don't move. Just do not touch anything. Just leave it in whatever configuration you currently have, because it's
Okay.
perfect.
But yeah,
I don't know how long I'm gonna be able
I
to
was
stand like
just-
this in the flamingo.
I was just waiting for the comedic okay, and then he just cuts out again. Like, crap.
Anyway, as I was saying,
No, yeah, Discord.
Yeah, but two of my friends
Discord doesn't
messaged
like when I say the word no.
me go.
Majority of the
"What
time, I
happened?"
say no. It doesn't catch it. So my players will be like, "Hey, Charlotte, can we do this?" And then they'll hear silence. So then they'll think it's okay. And I'm like, no.
Stop.
Okay.
so I believe we have a curse being removed.
Crap,
Yeah,
is it gone again?
How do I feel? Do I feel decursed?
Yeah, I think yes.
Okay, cool.
Oh, curse is affecting one creature or object. Yeah. Yep.
Sweet.
You no longer feel cursed.
Well done.
He just had that ready. Just.
I feel as though a weight has been lifted from my horns.
I'm glad you feel better, but I can't do that now for the Archmage.
Well, that settles it. We should visit the Thieves Guild first.
We're gonna
So-
go against the Thieves Guild. Maybe we should be a little more covert, which is not against my nature, but
Well, I wish I was there to have this conversation, but unfortunately, I'm on the rooftop.
Yep.
how many thieves do you estimate are in the Thieves Guild?
Tail
Can't
it.
hear you. I'm on a rooftop.
I'll turn to Nyx and I'll say,
We don't know.
not even an estimation.
Every time we assign a number, it gets bigger.
Maybe we should go deal with the Archmage and the Magistrate. I guess the Archmage first, right?
My contention would be simply that if we remain out and about in the city, the Thieves Guild can come at us in waves, in greater and greater number until we are completely overwhelmed. Whereas if we were to surprise them and invade their headquarters, there could only be so many there at one time. They would have no way to get word out.
I don't know. That's the equivalent of storming a keep.
Only we had a thief who could give some insight.
Indeed. Let us dispose of these first two as I go over and attempt to kick down the door of the morgue.
God damn it! I locked that so carefully.
He rolled
Yeah.
beautifully to just, lock it. Yep, and
My shoulder still stings though, and I'm done with it.
Bavidius is like, fuck this shit. Fucking door. Moo!
I'm going to request a supercut of Bovidius kicking doors down.
Yep. We're just gonna get supercuts of just everybody doing the
Or should I
thing.
say Bovidius smashing into doors that don't open?
Into locked doors, yep. It just being
Yeah.
rebuked by fucking doors. Speaking of
guess,
which, can you go ahead and roll me that strength
Yeah,
check,
just a straight thing. Straight
Yeah.
strength. Okay.
or you can roll athletics, whichever you prefer.
Athletics would be significantly superior.
Deciding to be nice today.
That's sweet of you.
That is a 21 on athletics.
Oh shit. Okay. So you back up, and you just kick your feet and snort, and just go directly through this door. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You go directly through, and just find yourself. 1 second you're on one side of the alley, and the next second you're just in the morgue. and then you hear the of the door just like coming entirely off of its hinges. You can see that it you burst it off of its hinges, and then it spun in place like a second, like a plate, before it just falls down on its face. You have very successfully gone through this door.
I will take the 2 werewolf corpses from underneath each arm and throw them each in the incinerator.
He did it with the werewolves under his arms. If you had a
That's a
nickel
better
for
name.
every time you saw that, you'd have 1 nickel. That's still a lot of nickels. Yeah, so you just
What
gotta
on earth is a nickel, Nix?
stuff the corpses into. This is the problem with me using my voice for DMPCs. Everybody makes that fucking joke. So you stuff them into the crematorium. And can you go ahead and just give me a really quick investigation check to make sure that you can figure out how to turn this on properly?
That's a 10.
10?
10.
Okay, it was a pretty low DC. I just didn't. Just don't roll really low, or things are gonna get very bad. So you're somewhat familiar. So you place the corpses on the cement block and push it in, and then close the door and just press the big ass red button that's on the wall. And it says push to close. And And so you push it, and then you can
Oh.
hear the gas and inside ignite before just the smell of burning fur just kind of. I know they reverted back to their human forms, but burnt fur and burnt hair smell really similar.
As they just burn, I'm going to go over and pick up the door. I'm gonna go and pick up the door, kind of like lean it upright against its hinges, as close as I can get it to looking like it's attached, and
Okay.
say, if anyone is proficient in mending, now would be the time.
Fucking Rendell has it.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, no, I don't.
He actually has the mend door spell saved. It's prepared for every day.
It's like, I had it.
I
I
mean,
just,
if
I
anybody
just,
would
I just
have
thought you
it,
were,
it'd be Rendell or Fidget.
just thought you were getting your own. If you wanted a monkey wrench, you should have just asked. Like,
All right, so I rolled a 17 on perception.
Mhm.
So I actually see some stuff this time. It's kind of cool.
Nice.
okay. So, it is around 1:30 in the morning currently. And so you can see all of the light that's just kind of coming off of where the majority of the party is taking place. But it is silent.
Odd.
So light but no noise. Okay. I'm
There
gonna
a
take my little
party going
homunculus.
on?
Isn't
I'm
it
gonna
there?
take my little homunculus and I'm going to unfold him and refold him into a paper plane and just towards the light.
That's so cool.
Right?
Okay. So you fold your homunculus into a paper airplane and you throw it in the direction where the light is coming from. And as it kind of travels over top of the buildings, are you choosing to see or are you choosing to hear?
I'm choosing to see.
You roll me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh.
Who did that?
Don't do it.
You know
Don't
who did
you
it.
do it.
Oh, JT!
So
I was nice to you last week, man. This is how you repay my kindness?
No good deed
you
goes
said-
unpunished.
You said a
Oh, snack
Constitution
silly, reset the
saving throw?
timer. Constitution saving throw.
So I rolled a natural 2, so I'm gonna use my luck point and re-roll.
Okay.
And I rolled a natural 3.
Okay.
Oh.
So I rolled an 8.
Yay. Okay, an 8. So, as your homunculus just kind of flies over where the party has been taking place for the majority of the evening, you are not ready for what you see. Because what you see are hundreds and hundreds of bodies laying in streets full of blood. And most of them have these twisted faces of frozen agony just on their faces, and you can see that the blood has poured out of their eyes, out of their ears, out of their noses and their mouths. And it is silent.
Yeah, I puke hard. And then when I recover my senses, I carefully descend the ladder back to the group.
Nobody was underneath him, right?
Nobody was underneath him, no.
Yeah, good. So we just hear a splatter of barf.
As you immediately begin to feel sick and you puke, who drank out of the keg?
Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
And
Everybody's like, Nyx did as well.
Everybody
Yeah.
but me.
Everybody but the fucking priest.
Nope.
Right.
I had a cup.
Paladin. Paladin
Paladin
did
didn't
not
have
drink.
it.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so
No, Wendell
can,
drank from it too. The
Yep.
can
Paladin-
everybody who drank
Fuckers.
from the keg make me a Constitution saving throw?
Damn it.
I
Travis
had
doing
cure
evil
disease
things.
cast on me.
Sorry.
Also, I think you reset the swear timer with your damn it.
Hmm. Question. I had both remove curse and cure disease cast on me. Would either of those help in this situation?
Oh,
Okay.
I rolled a 22.
okay.
That was not a
That's super
saving
lucky.
throw.
Oh,
So I kind of took just your 3 as actually, you know what? That's not fair. So throwing up helps you actually.
Cool.
Okay, so what did everybody? Oh, I need to roll 2. That's a 3. Yay!
I've rolled a 7.
Okay. That is a fail.
I rolled a 15.
That is a success.
Whew.
Who else?
Talon.
I believe Rendell had a little bit too.
Yeah, I rolled a 7.
Rolled a
Yeah.
7.
Oh yeah, Derp.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just waiting on Talon. This would be a great moment for your microphone to work. Bueller.
Is there any sort of
Bueller.
chat option we can go with here for this?
Bueller. Everybody make bets as to what they think he rolled.
I think it was somewhere
I'm
around
going with an
4?
11. I'm going at 11.
I'm betting 8.
8.
I'll say a 7 as well.
7?
Mhm.
I think 11. I think 11's good.
Such a crucial time.
Right? It's like technology is so great until it doesn't work.
Okay. I would also like to point out this is the first time I have succeeded a Constitution check the entire game thus far.
Would now be a good time for a break, perhaps?
Yeah, I mean that also works.
Just a thought.
Have we gone to the difficulties? Okay, how about yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna as Fidget realizes sort of something is going on, that is where we're going to go to break for this evening. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Unfortunately, we could not get a handle on our technical difficulties, and Talon is going to have to step away for the rest of the evening. But not to worry, he should be fine. At the last we left off, the party was finding out what happened after they drank from the contents of the keg. So we have discovered that Talon did not drink out of the keg. That then decides what happens. So, Vidius and Fidget, you are both going to take half damage. And Rendell and Nyx are both going to take 10 points of poison damage. As all of you immediately feel the odd sensation of something warm, just kind of, it feels like you're crying, and that you have, so you feel like you're simultaneously crying and you have a nosebleed, and then, you know, there's something dripping out of your ears, and you kind of reach up and it's blood. And as you look at each other, you realize that you are all bleeding out of your eyes and your noses and your ears. And then this thick, strong taste of iron, but it's off. It tastes terrible. Just fills your mouth, and you guys can like cough and spit, and your mouths are full of blood.
So I'm doing all this on the roof. Is that the deal?
Yep.
Cool.
Nice.
So I'm slowly dying alone on the roof.
Fine. It's fine. So yeah, both you and Vidius are going to take 5 points of poison damage. Rendell and Nyx take 10.
I will spit some of this blood into the street and say, "What foul witchery is this now?"
I'm gonna wait for my eyes to stop bleeding and then slowly make my way down the ladder.
Okay.
Ah, Fidget, you return. It seems the Thieves Guild have come up with some new witchery with which to exact some twisted form of vengeance upon us.
Yeah. By the way, why are we still here? Why don't we leave town? I'm bleeding out of my face now. This seems like the wrong place to be. Am I wrong?
Was it the assassins? Did they hit you, Fidget?
They didn't touch me.
What?
A drink.
What?
Well,
I look
Vidius,
and I see that the two people that didn't drink from the keg that I bought everybody are the ones that aren't bleeding, and I say, you may be right, but would it be
well,
just
Vidius,
out?
it seems that this town has run afoul, and we should probably find some secure space to defend ourselves. Let's gather up our companions. Do they look like they're nauseated or?
They look like, yeah, they look pretty sick. They look pretty ill. But as you say, the town is run afoul. Nyx kind of turns to you, and she's like, "What do you mean? It's just us, right?"
No.
What?
We really should go.
What have you seen?
I don't really know you guys. I don't really necessarily care, but I wouldn't want anybody to see what I saw. I think the whole city's dead.
I look around at the group.
Could you elaborate?
Yeah, you know where there were people? Now there's corpses.
How many?
Like all of them.
What?
All of them.
An entire night of free alcohol, and those
Feel
of us who
free.
drank from the city's coffers are also standing here bleeding. I see no
No.
reason to doubt that who would poison our keg could have poisoned all of them.
Well,
And the only people that wouldn't drink from
maybe.
them are the ones who knew it was poison. So we got to be extra careful. I'm telling you, we got to leave town.
See, what about the mausoleum? Maybe our stronghold. Let us secure the door and find upper floors, perhaps windows,
Maybe a
access we
secret
can get a
passage.
bird's eye view.
You want to hold up in the crematorium?
Yes,
The
the door's already open.
unfortunately, it may not
What
close.
happened to the door?
It's just like.
Well,
We needed to dispose of the bodies, and I was tired of this game of cat and mouse.
well, this is the closest spot. Let's gather up in here. Let's prop up that door, perhaps spike it shut, and let's look for upper floors where we can observe what's happening in the streets below. Because standing in the alleyway isn't going to do us any good.
Domino, follow me. I take him up the ladder.
Sure. I'll follow.
So, can we see the damage from here?
No. You needed your homunculus to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Just angle wise, it's you can
I
see all of the
understand.
roofs and you can see the lights. But then, as you climb, you realize that the noise and the sounds of just raucous energy is now eerily silent.
Okay.
I just stand on the edge.
Well, that's not normal for a party of this many people to be so quiet, especially now. Let us get ourselves to safety. Let's regroup in the mausoleum, which could possibly be the last place people would want to look. Who knows?
Listen,
But let us secure ourselves and we can come up with a game plan, because if a couple assassins just came after us, there could be dozens more.
Domino.
And
I
if
know
as
you
many
haven't.
people as you
I know you haven't
as you
seen
said are
this.
dead, they might be looting bodies, and much even worse purposes could transpire. Hopefully there's not an
for a
evil
guy that
cleric.
talks to a magic dragon, your imagination is not great. The people who did this, they're doing it for a reason. Those people are dead for a reason. We stick around,
Obviously.
we join them.
We're not going to leave the city in the clutches of some evil cabal.
Well, then we shouldn't
We've
stick
already
around
gotten
here.
ourselves into this, and it's not going to be so easy to walk out the front gates at 1 a.m. So I suggest we hole up for the night in the mausoleum. In the very early morning, we may have a chance to escape, but not at night when evil things prowl. And if there's an evil cleric, he could raise the dead.
I think that's what they're trying to do. I lean real close. I know I'm only like knee height with him, and I just point up at him. I go, "This is a mistake," and I go back down the ladder.
While they've been having that conversation, I want to be turning to Nyx, and I'll say, I see no reason to doubt the statement of young Fidget there. Surely there is an eerie silence in a city that is supposed to be rocking with raised voices all week. Would there be anywhere at the barracks that would be safe for us to seek refuge?
I don't think so. They tossed my room.
Do you have anywhere that you can think of where we could find a defensible position?
as I said previously, my mom had an apartment, but we're just gonna go hide? Are you serious? A bunch
You're
of
going-
people are dead, and y'all just want to fucking turn tail and run?
Ah.
It happened.
Not run necessarily, but we don't want to run headlong into the jaws of death. Let us
He says as
plan.
he's
Let
like
us
climbing down the ladder.
We
let
must
us get more
surely regroup.
information. Yeah, we need information.
We must all tend our wounds as well.
Well, boy, if we need information, I know the perfect place to go for that, where all the dead people are. Lots of info.
Indeed.
We can't just
Much
stand
can be
around and do
gained.
nothing.
I'm with you.
Well, you want to try and make it to the bar and see if the bar tender owner knows anything about this, is behind it, or is dead.
I think we just stay in motion. That's the most important thing we can do right now.
Agreed. Nix, pick a direction. We will follow.
Let's go to the bar.
Yeah, she points towards the bar. And she starts walking there.
As
Alright.
we start walking, I'm going to cast aid on the people who are bleeding.
Ooh,
So you get 5 hit points.
Cool.
ooh, splendid. Ooh.
Sweet.
Hit point maximum goes up for 8 hours. Okay. Let's go.
Fancy.
Temp HP plus 5.
Oop, yeah, 10. Yeah, 8. There we go. Cool. Okay. So you guys feel bolstered a
Cure
little
wounds on
bit
this.
by Rendell's, and then he heals himself.
For another 5.
Vidius, how are you looking right now?
I'm looking a little chewed up.
Okay. Just that was so smooth, man.
I
That
know.
was so. Oh my! I'm so proud of you.
Looking like a chewed up piece of steak.
Well done.
Oh no! I'm still
No.
quite raw.
No, I,
Carpaccio. Oh,
you're gonna heal for 9
Oh, splendiferous.
as Nyx casts Cure Wounds on you.
She what? She was a barbarian.
she's
Learn
a
it,
barbarian.
And she's druid.
Yes, barbarian.
Barbarian.
Well played. Everybody's
Hmm.
breaking up the puns tonight.
I made that one so long ago.
Yep. I was just reiterating it.
Yep. Okay, so you guys make your way towards the bar. And as you guys sort of make your way into the well-lit entertainment district, you guys can now all see what it was that Fidget saw. So just bodies littering the streets and blood running in rivulets through the cobblestones. It is a nightmare. And you guys feel for a fraction of a second that you guys can maybe pinch yourselves and wake up, but this is real. And it is sickening. You can just smell the thick scent of death and iron in the air, and it is almost too much for you to handle.
I just had an idea.
Okay.
Wait. Why would someone make the whole city bleed?
Many reasons.
Blood
Blood's
magic.
the reason.
They could loot
Blood.
them. They could raise them from the dead and have an
Yeah.
army.
Okay, yeah, you could cut people, smash people, cut them, put them in a stew. You could do all kinds of stuff. They bled everybody. They want blood.
Poison's an easy way.
Are they attempting to spread their lycanthropic curse as they did to me?
What I'm trying to say is the city's on a hill, right?
Yep.
So let's follow the blood.
It's not a full moon, is it?
I look around and see if I can detect any flowing motion of the blood. Does the blood is there any particular like stream of blood flowing in any direction?
Roll me a perception check.
Can I roll one as well?
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you.
The first time he didn't. He wants to roll a perception
Please, I'd
check,
love
ladies and
to.
gentlemen.
Thank you.
Please let me roll a perception check.
14.
Okay.
50.
15.
I'll get lucky.
So you guys just begin looking around, trying to see if there are any discernible patterns as to where the blood is going. But it's essentially just following gravity. So you are correct, the majority of it is flowing downhill, but not at a pace or in a pattern that seems out of the ordinary.
Are there sewer lines?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any way in?
Yeah, there's grates.
Yeah, I point to the sewer grates. Wherever this is going, that's where we need to go.
Your guess is as good as mine.
We
I
check
will
the
be
bar
happy
first?
to follow your lead.
We're not going to look for survivors.
Maybe we could talk to the bartender if he's still alive. If he doesn't drink on the job.
Well, even if he does, he would know something.
Let's talk with him before we go into the sewers.
All right.
Going into the sewers, we could be entering a real mess.
Yeah, we were having so much fun earlier. You're right.
How far is the bar?
It's about 5 minutes walk from here.
Still quiet?
Eerily.
Let us attempt not to add too much clamor to this quietude.
So shall I pick the lock?
First you gotta
I
get
look
there.
down at Fidget, and I'll just nod.
I would like everybody to roll me a stealth check.
No.
As you guys are making your way to the bar.
Oh,
Making my way.
I'd roll the disadvantage check,
Oh.
but I already got a 3.
Nick's rolled a 2.
I'm between
13.
a 3 and a 5 on stealth.
Oh no! Nick's is gonna cast Pass Without a Trace. All of you get +10.
Okay, 13.
No problem.
19.
So mine becomes a 12. Yay! Okay. So what did everybody get?
23.
14.
Okay.
13.
19.
Okay. Okay. So you guys begin making your way through the absolute massacre that has occurred here.
So the door is unlocked?
The door is unlocked and slightly ajar.
Fair enough.
And you push open the door, and you can see just bodies slumped over tables and on the floor. People like died in their chairs. You can see that some people still have their mugs and their cups in their hands, like grasped in their cold, dead fingers. And if you take a cursory glance around, you cannot see the bartender anywhere.
I'll look on the other side of the bar.
Yeah, Randy will do the
Okay.
same.
So you guys go around the bar, and you can see the prone form of the halfling bartender. And you can see that he has He is laying in a very large pool of blood with a singular stab wound directly through his sternum.
Does he
There's-
have any of the other indications of the poison? The blood from the eyes, the ears, the nose, etc.
Yes.
Oh.
Does
Is the
does
weapon
a stab wound match the colonel's?
Roll me a medicine check.
Natural 20.
Oh.
Oh.
It matches perfectly.
Ah.
This was done with the same blade in the same way.
That was like a perfect crit.
Yes.
Is there a way to bar the front door?
Yeah, you can do that.
I will do that.
Was it Fidget who looted the daggers?
Yep.
Fidget, can I see the dagger that you took off their bodies?
Yep.
Of the Lycans?
I hand off one of them.
I'd like to hold the dagger up to the stab wound in the chest. Does the radius look about the same?
No.
No.
And with your natural 20, had somebody been stabbed with this particular blade, the exit wound would have been lower than the entry point, just because of the curvature of the blade. But if you very gently roll over the halfling's body, you can see that the exit wound perfectly matches the angle of the entry point, suggesting that this was a straight-bladed weapon.
Well, doesn't look like our assassins did this. At least not the ones who came after us. But that wound matches the one from your mother, Nix.
Nyx immediately goes and flips a fucking table.
Hey.
I think it's gone. I think it's gone. I hope it's gone.
I'm going to start
Does
checking in
anyone
room.
at the table she flipped?
She may have flipped a few bodies too.
They're already dead.
Let the bodies hit the floor, baby.
I'm gonna start looking around the building for any trace of the assassin. Maybe they're still around.
I'm following.
Maybe
the
there's
videos.
maybe there's some indication of where they went. Any footprints through the blood that weren't left by us, for instance.
Is there a second floor to this place?
There is a second floor to this place.
I'm gonna send
There's
my homunculus
that like
up the second
this
floor.
upper balcony sort of thing with just more tables.
Cool. I'm gonna
Um,
send my homunculus up that direction while I follow Bovidius.
Okay.
would
that
you
where
be
our room
actively
was?
help?
Sorry, say that again.
Was our room up there on the second
Oh,
floor?
your room was on the lower floor.
Okay.
Would Fidget? Would you be actively helping me with my investigation, or just kind of staying with me for safety? Okay. So in that case, do I get advantage on the roll for investigation if I need to make one?
Yep, go for it.
Cool. First roll was a 17. Second roll was a 3. So I'll take the 17.
17 sounds good.
Yeah.
Since we're working together, would I be able to add my bonus instead of Bovidius's if mine
No,
is
you give
higher?
him advantage. That's the. Or had
Just
he
the
helped
bonus
you, you would have gotten advantage.
Yeah. It's significantly more powerful than adding the other
He
person's
spends
bonus.
the entire game bragging about how great his investigation modifier is.
Bovidius is like, out of
you
my way. Let me show you
and
how it's
just
done.
roll it for him. He's like, hold on, I got a solid 17, bro.
Strictly speaking, I've never bragged about my investigation.
So, you do pretty easily find a set of footprints. That kind of it's really hard to not leave footprints when everything you're walking on is blood.
Mhm.
And as you are kind of regarding these footprints, they're pretty easy to follow. Easy is probably not the word, because you're trying to find a trail of blood in a pool of blood. But there's the occasional footprint, and you can just kind of see that they're going in the direction of the cliffs.
I'll turn to everybody and I'll say, our quarry seems to have made for the cliffs.
I quickly check in with my homunculus, see if there's anything worth noting up above.
Yeah, it's just a full Silent Slayer concert up there.
Yeah. Okay. Bring him back.
Okay.
I'm gonna kind of insist on a short rest at this point and turn to the party and say, if anybody has wounds left to mend or concentration to regain, this would be the time to do it. And with that, I'm going to take like a little bandage out of my pocket and wipe the last of the blood away on my shoulder, and just like 10 minutes for a short rest. Can we do that?
Yep.
Sure.
I'm gonna blow some hit dice.
Yeah.
Do we notice the barmaid among the dead bodies?
Yep.
I thought she might be the assassin.
Yeah, so she is laying on her back, staring wide-eyed at stars she can't see.
What about the bard?
The bard is also very dead. Still clutching his lute in his final moments. His last word was probably fuck. Oh, shit.
All right, well, I will say some prayers over the fallen dead.
All right. Got second wind and action surge back. Let's go. Ready to kill some assassins.
Let's go.
None of the other bodies had like puncture wound in them, did they?
Roll me some medicine checks. Or you know what? Just roll me one. Just roll me one. Ow. There's something in my eye.
This time's not as good. 14.
So you kind of just quickly check the rest of the bodies. Mostly in the chest area, because that's where this person seems to like to stab. And you don't find any other bodies with any stab wounds of any sort. They all seem to have died from extreme exsanguination.
Bloody hell. So once everybody's finished the short rest, I'm going to rally the group and lead us off in the direction that the footprints were going.
Okay. So as you guys begin to follow the footprints towards the cliffs, and just the eerie silence is slightly overtaken just by the sounds of the waves just crashing against the rocks hundreds and hundreds of feet below. And as you guys follow the footprints, you guys come out into this small stone area, which is essentially it appears to be some ancient place of worship. And you can see that everything has sort of been set up for some sort of gathering. You can see that there is like a small stage that has been erected just in front of this large stone altar that's kind of just on the crest of the cliff and jutting up over just the hundreds upon hundreds of feet of black water below. And as you guys go around the buildings, you can begin to see that there are bodies littered around this area, and all of them seem to be wearing these matching deep red robes. And you can see that all of them are still suffering from the same injuries that everybody else died from. There's blood streaming down from their eyes and their noses and their mouths. And standing upright is one singular individual, just kind of standing in the center of all of this carnage, looming over top of the individual that you immediately recognize as the magistrate. And you can see that this individual has their back turned to you, a beautifully intricate cloak just above their head so you can't see their face. And you can see that they have reached down with both hands. One is clasped around the magistrate's throat, and the other is holding a beautiful straight dagger to her cheek. They just appear to be waiting.
Who's holding the magistrate?
We don't know.
We don't
We
know
can't
yet.
see.
About how far away are they?
I would give like about 50 feet.
There's clearly high ground here.
I'm gonna bull rush.
I'm gonna.
I would like to try and cast Hold Person on the person in the cloak.
Okay. So,
Initiative?
yeah. Let
Okay.
me go for initiative here. And I will put you guys where you belong. Do. Okay. So can you go ahead and roll hold person? Because I think you have to,
It's a deck. I know it's a wisdom save or something.
because unless you dash, I don't think you can bull rush right now, Bavidius.
Well, that's what I was planning to do. I was going to, if I'm within 50 feet of the person, and they don't appear to have noticed me, so that I can act before initiative order, then I was going to take a dash action, charge 50 feet, and attempt to use my Goring Rush bonus action to make a melee attack on them and hopefully shove them back.
The fun part is, I can't tell you to click on your tokens so that you can roll initiative, because you guys don't have tokens. There you go.
Hey, there we go.
There we go. Okay. All gonna roll for initiative. Don't forget to click on your token. Okay, and I need to make a wisdom saving throw. 16.
She makes it. Or they make it.
They make it. All right. So you guys are like here, just at the very, very edge of this this cliff area of worship. Okay. So we've got Rendell throwing out a hold person, and Bavidius is probably gonna do a Goring Rush. Okay. Gotta add you to the turn order. And you didn't click on your token. Shame. Dishonor. Dishonor on your whole family.
Sorry, I don't know how this
Okay.
works.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Well, you're shaming me while you're saying it's okay. I'm getting mixed messages here.
I'm the DM. This is my job.
literally how she rolls.
Gonna make you love me
Get
and
it?
hate me.
How she rolls.
How she rolls. Who am I missing? Domino, what did you get?
A 4.
Coming in strong with a 4.
Nice.
Let me please add. No. This is not what I want. There we go. Okay. It wasn't letting me add your turn for some reason. Oh, and it didn't let me add yours either. Ah, this site kind of hates me tonight. Okay, so. And. I will just keep that in mind. I don't want to put her on the screen. Okay. Alright. First in the turn order is Fidget.
Cool. My homunculus is gonna make a little hippity hop onto Bovidius's shoulder, and then I'm gonna take the high ground.
Which is Bovidius' shoulder.
I could potentially do
So-
that. How do you feel about a fastball special?
Toss me.
As I'm kind of gearing up to charge, I'll like kind of lean over, elbows down, and like gearing up for a bull charge. He's welcome to climb on up.
Yeah, I'm going for it. I climb on Bovidius's back and I grab
Okay.
that magic dagger. Let's go!
Onward!
This is the first time Fidget's ever gone towards the action, and he's not even the one doing the movement.
Oh, level speed.
He wanted to ride something. Let's go.
That's the first time Bovidius has ever been ridden, Wink.
Right before he runs, I lean down and just like in his ear, I'm just like, luckily no doors, so you're good.
I think that just makes him more angry.
You see the nostrils kind of flare.
The lack of doors is infuriating. Okay, so
Please tell me the
are
bad
you-
guy's wearing a red cape, or at least that it's stained red.
I'm pretty sure I said it was like a very, very, very dark blue or black.
Okay, but there should be lots of red stains.
Yeah, there's gonna be lots of red stains. That's up to you to make
You're
them.
doing a lot of stabbing.
It's not the
It's not a-
color, it's the movement.
Okay.
It's not a fastball special. It's a Cattle-Pult.
Dude, you win. You win.
You win. That's it.
That's
Yeah.
the episode name.
Yep. Cattle-Pult. Cattle-Pult! Okay, so I'm assuming you're gonna hold your action until you get within range of this mysterious individual.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So Bovidius, conveniently, that makes it your turn.
All right. So I'm going to proceed to, with Fidget attached, run. Use the dash action to get on top of this bad person, and the Goring Rush description is immediately after using the dash action, you can make one melee attack with your horns. So I'm going to roll the horns specifically, if I can find those. There we go.
Specifically.
That is 22 to hit.
I think that'll hit, yeah.
All right. And that is 10. That is max damage. 10 damage.
Nice.
Okay.
1d6 plus 4. Let's go. And then I believe I have triggered Fidget's held action by
Indeed.
getting him into melee range.
You certainly have. But this is actually a perfect opportunity for me to poison spray them right in the face.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to do, because my melee attack is not great anyway. So There's no wall
So
to attack
just
for
for
this one.
future reference,
Yep.
if you're holding a spell, you have to let me know that you're holding a spell. Poison
Apologies.
spray's a cantrip, so it's not that big of a deal.
Sure.
But if you hold your action and you're holding a spell, if it doesn't proc, you still consume the spell.
Understood.
Just so you know.
Noted.
It doesn't matter with a cantrip. You can cast cantrips however you like.
Cool.
But yeah, just for future reference, just so as you know.
Perfect. Thank
All
you.
right. So I need to make a dexterity saving throw or constitution.
Correct. Constitution.
Constitution. Natural 20.
Wow. Badge.
Well, you take no damage.
And with that, I would like to action surge. Since it is still my turn.
So, I'm just imagining you like put your hand out just a fraction of a second too soon and just watch the spray just go past your face and you're like, oh shit, I cast it too soon.
Oh,
Wait, can you just wander over in this direction for like 2 seconds? I promise you it'll be fun, okay?
So I'm gonna action surge.
With your... No, this is a different thing. Because she doesn't get knocked prone.
No, exactly. She doesn't get knocked down, knocked prone, knocked anything. It's literally just a horn attack.
Different things. All right. I got you.
Because
Okay,
I have
go.
my horns as a weapon. So now, using my regular weapon, I'm going to make a melee attack. And, ooh, that is a 9 to hit. I'm
9
assuming
does
that does not.
unfortunately. No.
Does the what's her face? Does she count as an ally?
I mean, you threatened her a lot.
But I mean, I think this guy's like
Um,
literally threatening her.
Also, for you to get flanking, they have to be actively in the fight.
I know.
Essentially,
Yeah.
they have to be posing a threat, and she seems pretty fucking disarmed right now. She is being held by the throat with a
She's just
knife
waiting.
to her face.
Biding her
Just
time.
waiting.
Am I able to use the last attack of my action surge to attempt to grapple the assailant, or because I did a weapon swing, it has to be another weapon swing?
Usually I rule that if you're doing a grapple, that takes your whole action. But according to the rules, you're allowed to do that.
Cool, let's go. So, what is it? It's just straight D20 plus strength?
Yeah, it's just a strength. It's just an opposing strength check.
Okay. So my strength roll is. Are you kidding me? 9.
9.
Natural 20!
All right. Well, I got one thing right on my turn.
Oh, this dice is treating me good tonight. Thelmus, you're a good boy. Oh man. Okay. So yeah, you try to wrap your arms around this individual and like lift them up off of the ground. And it is akin to trying to pick up a cinder block statue. You are not ready for just the amount of sheer strength that this individual just exudes. Even though they seem smaller, much smaller and more frail than you underneath this cloak that you like. So you guys still can't really see who this individual is. But yeah, you are immediately kind of shocked with just the sheer amount of power that this person casually brushes you off with.
I'm gonna file this away in the back of my mind, but not visibly be phased by it, and I'll be like, "Turn and face me, killer." And that'll be my turn.
Okay. Further convenience of the story, that does make it this individual's turn. So essentially what happens is this person just shrugs you off as casually as if, they are brushing a fly off of their robe, before they turn and pull down the hood, and all of you just see this beautiful face, with like these sharp cheekbones and just naturally encompassing beauty, with just this faint blue skin.
I'm so
And-
sorry. Do you want to go to dinner later?
Moo.
What if your dinner?
That's what I'm worried about.
And yeah, so she turns to you and pulls the hood off of her head, just kind of like letting go of the magistrate's throat, and the magistrate immediately just collapses onto the floor, gasping for breath. It didn't look like this woman was gripping at all. It didn't look like she was holding or like constricting the magistrate's throat in any way, but with the pained, rasping breaths of air that she's taking, you guys realize that this woman was just casually choking her. And she turns to you, just with this bemused smile on her face. Today is an interesting day indeed. I will give you one chance to turn around and leave. Otherwise, we're going to have some fun. Let me know what you decide. And Fidget's like, yep, okay, here we go, bye.
Yeah.
I already
And-
recognize that voice.
She appears to be waiting to see what you do. And I will let you respond if what you choose to do is talk.
Well, I am gonna ask her, why have you done this to the town? And why are you attempting to kill the magistrate?
Because I think it's high time that our dear mother made an appearance. She's been sleeping for far too long.
Your mother? Speak not in riddles.
But riddles are so much fun.
If you will not be frank with me, then I cannot, in good conscience, allow you to continue with your current course of action. And I'll dig my feet in a little bit stronger and grip on my great sword with everything I got. Because I feel like I'm about to get anime punched across the whole arena.
Maybe. Okay, hold on one second. Do.
Doing research because it's not actually a big deal what you did. It's not serious at all.
It's not a big deal. No. I'm just gonna roll this in D20 because I don't feel like rolling that many times. Kyle is disappearing out of the camera because he's like, you know what? I don't really want to. I've changed my mind. I'm just gonna walk away. So the first question I have to ask you is whether or not a 17 hits you.
It's a good question. It does.
It does. Okay. So she reaches out and just very gently runs a finger like across your shoulder and down your arm. Before you feel this searing pain as multiple wounds and lacerations just open up along the length of where she trailed her finger as she casts inflict wounds on you. So I'ma just roll this in here. So you're gonna take 28 points of necrotic damage.
Holy mother of God.
I think we should have gone into the sewers.
I'll just grunt. Grin and bear it as much as I can, but holy crap, did that hurt.
And she like gently caresses her fingers across her skin and then withdraws her hand. And she says, "This is the power that Mother provides. The Midnight Serpent has waited hundreds of years for this moment, and I will not let you get in her way."
Still gritting my teeth, I'm just gonna say, who is the Midnight Serpent? And what does she want?
She goes by many, many, many names. She is an ancient power that those before thought that they could control. They were wrong. And so they made her slumber. And that time of slumber is over.
It's not the horn of the wake, is it? It's the horn of waking.
Oh. This one seems to have a little bit more intelligence than the average gnat. Tell me, what else do you know? She
know.
also glances up at Fidget and just gives you this wicked smile.
I believe I was walking the other day. As soon as you said you have a choice, you can walk away. He was
Back
like,
to the
"Kneel."
party, bro. Like,
no.
Peace. Just like, nope.
Yeah.
I'm imagining he's also just like hiding directly behind Bavidius' head, just kind of like holding onto his horns and peeking over his skull, like, I'm just not here.
That might honestly be the safest place to be. No, it's not.
No,
It's very not.
I've been walking back to the rest of the group. Like, she's nice. I think she's cool.
She's super cool.
She's kind of cute. Like, I think we should give her a chance.
To answer her question though directly, what else do I know? I'll say, I know it was your blade that took the life of my friend and the mother of my other friend from me. I also know that it was her, gesturing at the magistrate, who insisted that this would be brushed aside. You can understand then that my loyalty in this case is rather against both of you. I have no interest in keeping her alive, and I clearly cannot stand up against your power.
That would
But
be unwise. You can certainly try.
what I don't understand is what you are offering to the world.
Oh, you poor insolent thing. I offer nothing except rightful annihilation.
Fire and death against misery and sickness. As usual, a fool's bargain. I see you could swat me aside as easily as I would swat at an insect. But I cannot allow myself to depart.
And let's play.
And I'll simply shout to Nyx, "For your mother! Defend the melody!"
And with that, she just gives you this evil, vicious cackle. Oh dear. Seems you're a little bit later than you realized. Let's have some fun anyways. That is her turn. We seem to be going in the correct order here, because that makes it now Nyx's turn.
I looked at that.
Cheater.
It's public.
Yeah, I know.
It's not on the GM layer.
Okay, so yeah, she's gonna and then she's going to yeah, she's gonna bonus action turn into a bear. Cause that seemed like how she roll right now. So essentially Nyx starts running with just this angry snarl across her face. And as she's running, she lurches forwards, and just before her hands touch the ground, they shift into paws, and she launches herself forwards as a bear, just closing the distance as quickly as possible between her and the individual that she would very much like to have between her teeth right now. That is her turn. Rendell, that makes it your turn.
Rendell, you're muted.
We seem to have gotten a roll from the ether.
First things first,
There we go.
I will cast Healing Word on Bovidius
Okay.
for 5 hit points.
Thank you.
Moo.
And then I will cast Toll the Dead on the blue lady.
Oh, nice. My horns did something useful.
Another wisdom save.
14? I don't
Just
think that
makes
saves.
it. No,
Just
that
makes
doesn't.
it.
I have a 14 DC.
No damage.
Oh, you're all gonna die. Oh, this is great. Okay, so she takes half damage?
Nope. Takes none.
No, she takes none.
It's cantrip.
This is so you throw some healing magic in Bovidius's direction, and you can see some of the wounds just close a little bit and stop bleeding as profusely as they were. And then you turn towards her and try to injure her with your magic, and she again just makes this casual movement as if she is simply waving something away, as if she simply does not have time for it. And she takes no damage at all.
I guess that's my turn because that was my action, my bonus action. So.
Okay, and you don't want to move or anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay, he's like, no, you know what? I'm gonna stay right here. Thanks. Domino, that makes your turn.
All right, for my first action, Omenum Protectum, protection from evil.
Okay.
And then I will move within as far as close as I can get to combat.
30. So you can move 30 feet.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay. That is your turn. Fidget. That makes it your turn.
All right. So the noob is going to ask more questions. I have some rogue levels. How does sneak attack work? Do I have to be stealthed, or can I just be flanking somebody?
So sneak attack works. You get your sneak attack damage if you get to roll with advantage, or if you have an ally within 5 feet.
Cool. It looks like I have an ally within 5 feet.
You most certainly do. Yes.
Sweet. So
We also have an
Because
ally
you are
fighting?
currently riding him.
Yeah.
So
within about 5 inches, actually.
yeah,
Cool. Well, I'm gonna give the evil lady a good stab with my new trusty dagger.
okay.
And this is the best way to find out what kind of weapon I have. I don't have to identify. Just slash somebody with it. See what happens.
Just hit somebody and see what it does.
Okay. Where's my melee attack? There it is. Okay. 22.
Okay, so that's
It's a
actually a
natural 19.
24
Cool.
Ooh.
because this is a +2 silver dagger.
Ooh.
So it adds 2 to your attack roll and it adds 2 to your damage.
Great.
Nice.
Also good for killing werewolves.
It's also good for killing werewolves
Really strange that werewolves would be carrying werewolf killing daggers.
because they don't want to pass it on.
Yeah, that makes
Right.
sense.
Okay. Fair point.
That's why I said they want
Yep.
to ensure. Because yeah, it doesn't help if your mark just gets the fuck back up and starts and in wolf form and starts fighting you. It's like, no, I don't want that. I'm the only one who gets to be cool here, okay? You don't fucking get to be
tracks.
cool.
So what's the damage on this?
So, your the dagger does a D4 of damage +2.
Okay. Plus 2.
Plus your
1d6.
plus your oh wait. Oh yeah, plus 1d6. How many levels of rogue do you have?
2.
I think it's 2d6 at level. No, it's 1d6 at level 2.
I think it's 1d6 at level 2 and 2d6 at level 3.
Yes,
sounds
that
most
sounds about
accurate.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 1d4 plus 1d6 plus your dexterity
2.
modifier +2.
Dex modifier?
Yep.
Wicked. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
because these are versatile, so you can use them with your dex or your strength, and I'm assuming your dex is better.
Certainly. Thank you.
It's not that you don't have to thank me. Them's the rules. But you're
Tell me the
welcome.
rules. So that's 4 for the d4,
Okay.
6 for the d6.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit,
Nice.
dude.
That's 10 plus 2,
Nice.
plus my dex is 2, so that's 14 damage.
Dang.
First time I actually attacked, I did all right.
All of the damage that we've actually dealt to this lady has been max damage thus far.
Fucking nailed
That's
it.
true.
Okay, so you kind of dart out just over Bovidius's shoulder and just slash at her face. And you draw this small line of blood just down the edge of her chin. And you can see that her blood is like stark blue.
Regrets.
And she immediately turns her head away for a second before she touches her fingers to the blood and looks at you. Not many people can make me do that.
Stick around, we'll see what else I can do.
You have fire, little one. I will be sure to extinguish it. Is that your turn?
I guess it is, yeah.
Okay. Bovidius, that makes it your turn.
Yes. I'd like to take a 5-foot step over here and give myself flanking with the bear.
Yep, that works.
And I'm going to use my great sword to make 2.
Sorry, I just saw the. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. How dare!
Right. So I'm going to make 2 great sword attacks here. With advantage, the first one is a 17. Damage
Okay.
on that is 12. And the second attack is only a 12.
12 unfortunately misses.
Yeah, I expected as much. With my bonus action, I'm going to use my second wind and heal 1d10 plus 5,
Okay.
which is 9.
All right. So yeah, you just take your greatsword and like slash her across the front of her thigh and just splatter this thick blue blood on the stone. Before you go to take another swing, and she deflects your blade just with her hand. Okay. Is that your turn?
That is my turn.
Okay, so as you slash into her leg, and her, like, the spatter of blue blood just goes across the ground, she takes one step backwards, before her head cocks to the side, as you all hear the gong of the clock striking 2. So in the silence that just radiates from everywhere, and the only sounds that you guys can hear are the sounds of combat and the sounds of the ocean just hitting the rocks. You guys hear just the forlorn sound of a single bell striking 2. Before she smirks at all of you and says, "I win." As from the top of the lighthouse, 2 things happen simultaneously. The first is that the light, which has been burning for hundreds of years, goes out. And then this long, sad, forlorn sound just radiates from the top of the tower. And as the note ends, you guys hear a distant rumble of thunder. And you wait for a few seconds before you hear the sounds of a humongous wave slamming into the rocks, into all of the docks below, into the ships. And you can hear the snapping and the breaking of hundreds of tons of wood just disappearing and being destroyed in seconds.
I turn to Domino. I told you we should leave.
Our destiny lies here.
She looks at all of you and bows mockingly. And says, "For your valiant efforts tonight, I think I shall have my mother send you all a parting gift. What do you think, brother?" And as she doesn't look, but she just says it, and another blue-skinned individual just appears next to her, just kind of idly twirling what appears to be a horn between his fingers, before he casually just flicks it over his shoulder, and it spins through the air before going over the edge of the cliff and disappearing into nothingness. He says, "Yes, sister, I think that's a very clever idea indeed. What did you have in mind?" "Oh, something very special. Something very special indeed. Anyways, we shall bid all of you adieu. I hope you have a fine evening, and that you die with a moderate amount of pain. Goodbye." And she snaps her fingers, and both of them immediately just disappear. And And before you guys have even a split second to react, the air vibrates with the sound of a distant roar. And as you guys look over the cliffs above the black water, you can see a large black winged silhouette rocketing towards the cliffside. And that is where we're going to end the session for today.
That's too cool.
So thank you everybody so much for joining us for Melody of the Maelstrom. I hope you all enjoyed. We are very honored to be just part of this amazing series of games. Speaking of which, if you enjoy Vampire the Masquerade, we do have a game on Tuesdays that is taking place. And if you enjoy not letting people say curse words for about 3 hours, you should probably check out our mortal enemies in Falskull Knights. I'm sure we shall be seeing you on Wednesday to repay
that
you in
timer
kind,
expired,
sir.
That timer expired really early in the game.
Yes,
Yeah.
but the rage has not the rage has not abated. I have been scorned, damn it! And I shall have my revenge. So yeah, check out the game on Wednesdays of Falskull Knights. We also have a Knight's Ransom on Thursdays. And shout out to our sponsors, D&D Beyond and Effects May Vary. We have a Patreon, we have merch available, particularly for Pride Month. All that stuff is on sale right now. You should check it out because the design is really cool. And
May I add something?
yeah, of course.
Thank you. My band Mute Sounds is going on tour in 2 weeks. We're going to be hitting a bunch of different places all over Ontario. It's going to be super cool. Ottawa, Sudbury, Hamilton, Guelph, London, and Toronto, of course. So you don't have to get tickets, just show up. It's going to be great.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, if we're talking about show times, Effects May Vary is playing a show in Toronto at the Rock Pile on the 24th. So if you're in the area, yeah, come on out. We'd love to meet you. And total train of thought loss. I think I was just wrapping it up at the end. So thank you all so much for joining us, and have a good evening.
We're in danger.